Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folari. I hope you had a great weekend. Osun is in focus because the election is just round the corner, and one of my two guests this morning in studio with me is Mr. Majid Jamil, Executive Editor, Upshot Media. Majid, great to have you again.
Good morning, Nigerians.
Good morning, sir. And Honorable Remi Omowaye, the Commissioner for Works and Transport in Osun State. He's also waiting for us remotely over there. A fine morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Uncle Yori. Good morning, Nigerians. Greetings.
Thank you very much. The election in Osun, just taking off from you, I'm sure all preparations are, at a very high gear. But let's just take a package. Let's just take an earlier package we made, and then we'll come back to studio and we'll discuss it with both gentlemen.
It's the turn of the All Progressives Congress governorship candidate, Ademola Oyetola, to campaign in Ede, the hometown of his main challenger, Ademola Adeleke. The campaign train entered through Okigada, and the governor was acknowledging cheers from residents of the town. His first port of call was the palace of Timi of Ede, Obamunurudin Lawal. The visit was symbolic as the traditional ruler and his chiefs prayed for the governor to succeed and stay in office beyond 2022. Obamunurudin Lawal acknowledged the achievements of the governor, particularly in Ede, and called for more support for him. From there, the governor's campaign train moved to Obalaoye Grammar School, where party members and supporters had been waiting despite heavy downpour.
PDP should know that the era of them getting larger percentage of votes in Ede is gone. The era of them manipulating people is gone. The era of them telling lies against the ruling government in Osun is gone. The era of people having sympathy for somebody, maybe because he lost something or whatever, is gone. So it is now the era of good governance.
And at the palace, Timi was emphatic that Governor Oyetola had been doing justice in terms of spread of infrastructure and key positions in government, notwithstanding performance in Ede in last election.
Addressing the gathering, Governor Gboyega Oyetola says he's convinced without doubt that he will emerge victorious.
Notwithstanding the heavy downpour, they still remain resilient. You can see they're still very much around. It shows a lot of commitment on the part of both the party members and the people over there to want to ensure that we continue to govern the state come 16th of July this year. I'm confident that we will win this time around.
The Nigerian ambassador to Mexico, Adejare Bello, believed Ede has benefited a lot under the administration.
We have done what we're supposed to do. Even the opposition, PDP, they know themselves that here in Dende, they are in trouble. We are not ready for Togri and some other things. But in terms of mobilization for votes, we are ready.
The party promised not to let people down. Rafi Hamid, TVC News, Ede, Osun State.
Okay, so there you are. That's sort of a background report to where we are now. And the election is really, it's upon us. 16th of July, 15 political parties will be participating in that election. And it'll cover 30 local government areas. According to INEC, there are 1.955 million registered voters. How many of them actually have PVCs is, another question, and a very, very important one. So my other guest is Remi Omowaye, Commissioner for Works and Transport in Osun State. Remi, if I could come to you, are you? Yeah. Following from that report, and you're at home, how is it coming? Are you as ready? Because it's really upon us. Do you think Osun is ready for the election?
Well, first and foremost, we must thank God Almighty. I can tell you Osun is ready for election. I can tell you that Osun is ready to re-elect Governor Gboyega Oyetola. Just a few days ago, we were in Ede, the hometown of the major contender. The turnout was massive. People were very happy to receive us. And the cabinet of Ede said it clearly that the governor has done incredibly well and he deserves to be re-elected. So I can tell you Osun is ready. The people are ready to re-elect Governor Gboyega Oyetola because he's done incredibly well as a governor of the state.
Are there any areas that need your particular attention in Osun State vis-a-vis your principle, by which I mean, look, there are 30 local governments. Parties have strong areas and not so strong areas. How much work have you done in those areas you consider as not so much in the kitty yet, so to speak, if at all?
We all know our major contender is from Ede, and we were in Ede 2 days ago. The turnout was massive, and even the Ede that we felt is not a place we are too good, that we can see the reaction from the people. So we are intensifying work because we want to make sure we have a clear lead of nothing less than 200,000. I mean, that Oyetola will win is a done deal, but we just want to make sure we have a clear lead of nothing less than 200,000. So we're intensifying efforts. As I speak to you, the amalgamation of Okada riders in the entire Osun are showing support. They are declaring for the governor, about 10,000 of them. So if you're in Osogbo now, you know what I'm talking about. Osogbo is locked down already for Oyetola. The Okada riders are declaring massively for Oyetola. So we are not relying our efforts to canvass for more votes, to sensitize our people. You talked about PVC because it is not the crowd that matters, it is eligible voters that matter. So we are canvassing heavily. We're encouraging our people that just registered to pick up their PVC because that is their power. So, and I can tell you, we have enough things to campaign with. And if you look at our issues in 2018, we had a lot of challenges in 2018 that affected our election. And I can tell you that over 95% of our challenges of 2018 had been addressed. Before now, Osun used to be known as a state of half salary, but today, Governor Oyetola pays promptly salaries, and we are also among the very few states that has implemented minimum wage. We are doing a lot of massive infrastructure. We are the only state in Nigeria that has revitalized at least one PhD per ward. We have 332 wards in Osun. We have done over 300. So there's virtually no ward, political ward in Osun that has not gotten a PhD. And it has also helped the Osun indices. There are only 5 states in Nigeria that are done well with contributory pension: Lagos, Kano, Delta, Osun, and I think Kaduna. So we are also doing well in terms of clearing the backlogs of areas of pensioners. We are doing a lot in the area of agric. Osun before now is known as the civil service state. We are doing a lot to industrialize Osun. Within the last 3.5 years, we've had more than 10 million industries springing up in Osun. The Dagbolu that was a bush as when Oyetola came in has become an industrial hub. So we are also doing a lot. We used to have a mining license that we never activated. Today, we have activated mining license and we have invested heavily into that. And I can tell you that any moment from now, Osun will start getting a lot of resources from mining. So we are doing a lot and we are getting results. And I can tell you, we are fully prepared. All we just want to do is to intensify efforts so that we ensure we have a margin of nothing less than 200,000.
Well, indeed. You're smiling there. Is that a bit on the optimistic side? But that is a side comment. 1,955,657, according to INEC figures, are registered voters there, going by newspaper reports. But the equally, I would say, important one is being able to vote now that you're registered. That is picking up your PVC cards. People have not been very conscientious in that regard before. How do you see it panning out this time?
Yeah, I think there has been a marked improvement in the number of registered voters in Osun State, 30 local governments. If you compare what happened in 2018 to now, in 2018 there were 1.678 million registered voters, 1,678,000. But now there's about 300,000 extra now that have registered in Osun between 2018 and now. And out of that the extra 300,000 or thereabouts, INEC is saying that we've had 355,000 more PVCs collected in Osun between 2018 and 2022. So those factors will determine whether we are going to have the 200,000 margin, which Honorable Omowaye is talking about. But then I like his optimism, but empirically speaking, in 2018, there were, out of the 1.68 million people, only 35% of those people voted, and about 693,000. Now, if we are looking at that, if we are looking at 40% of those who will vote in 2022 in Osun election, then we are looking at a maximum of 782,000 votes for all the major parties. Now we are talking of major parties here.
That is extrapolating those figures.
Extrapolating the figures. And this has been the trend in Nigeria. The last Ekiti election, it was just 36.4% percentage of voting. We have never recorded more than 40% anywhere in Nigeria in terms of the percentage of those who vote on election day. And I don't see Osun being different from that. About 200,000 margin, no, Oyetola will win, but I doubt if the margin will be more than 80 to 100,000 because, like he said, a lot of factors have come into play. In 2018, Omishore was in SDP, where he polled 129,000 votes. Those votes, 80% of those 129,000 votes will go to Oyetola this time. Adeoti was a candidate of ADC in 2018. Now it's not contesting, and most of those votes were from Iwo. Iwo is a stronghold of the APC. So 49,000 votes, most of them, at least 80% will be going to the APC. So, but PDP, for example, has been a bit stagnant. Stagnant in the sense that no new movements into PDP. So PDP in 2018 scored about 255,000 votes total. You know, the margin was it was like a win with a cliffhanger, just about less than 500 votes. I mean, 500, not up to 1,000. Winning margin between Oyetola and Ademola Adeleke in 2018. I mean, the election had to go to a rerun. But in 2022, I don't expect a rerun, but I was in Osun for the past 1 week. I just came back. I visited most of the 30 local governments. We did a lot of survey, and what the people are saying is that Oyetola would most likely return with a margin of between 80 and 100,000.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
okay.
And if you look at the figures, like I said, I mean, if Ijesha is a stronghold of the national secretary of the APC, that's Omishore, he wants to prove a point that apart from coming back to the APC, he wants to show that he is a son of the soil who wants to deliver as the national secretary, as the heart of the APC at the national level, not just at the state level. So in 2018, he polled 35,000 votes in Ife alone, 4 wards in Ife. So those 35,000 votes, if he can't get everything to APC, at least 30,000 of those votes, if not more, go to APC now. Now, I'm happy that the governor got a very fantastic reception in Ede, but on election day, PDP will clear Ede with at least 70% of the votes. Although that might not be enough to change things because Ede will lock down for Adeleke.
Okay.
And also another factor that is coming up is the fact that Davido arrived in Nigeria yesterday. He's going to come to Osun with his Daniel and Wizkid. 3 of them. And anywhere those 3 guys are, the stadium will be jam-packed, but that won't translate to votes because people from Lagos, from even as far as Edo and Delta will come and watch those guys perform. Even in O2 in London and Madison Square in New York, people go there to watch them, but that will not translate for votes. But PDP want to show that, yeah, we have this crowd, but then on election day, the crowd won't be there to vote for them. So all those factors will come into play.
Honorable Omowaye, you see, the points that Majid is bringing up, actually, I had keyed into them myself before, and Majid spoke about the slim margin the last time there was an election. And well, this time you probably had that in mind when you were saying that, look, you're looking at up to 200K votes, but the PDP stronghold in that place, they wouldn't have been twiddling their thumbs. They would have been up and doing as well. Are you just being a loyal party man, or is there no reason for apprehension that this is no walk in the park, or is it? You've accidentally, I think, muted your audio.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Only now. So whatever you said before, we couldn't hear.
I said, you see, I listened to what Benjamin said. Even in 2018, PDP did not have 70% in Ede North. So, and when we did our campaign in 2018, they were hostile to us. We know how the people were to us. When we did campaign in 2018 in Ede, we did not have anything to campaign with. But today, we have fixed a lot of roads in Ede. In Ede North and South, we have done over 20 primary health care centers. We have fixed some of their major roads in Ede. We have done from Ukegada to Barracks Junction to Ara Junction. This is a portion of road they used to call swimming pool. And apart from that, we have also gotten our politics right. So I want to tell you, if in 2018 that we had a lot of issues, it wasn't even as bad as we felt it was going to be bad. I can tell you in 2022, it will be better.
Okay. When you say, when you say you didn't have anything to campaign with, surely the governor was riding on, the successes of his predecessor. No doubt you would have leveraged that.
Well, I didn't say we didn't have something to campaign with in Osun. I said in Ede.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All the township roads in Ede in 2018 are in terrible situation. So I'm not saying we had a lot of issues to campaign. I mean, a lot of stuff to campaign with, but we had a lot of campaign challenges. If you notice in 2018, we had a lot of issues with the school reform. Students were putting on church garments, the masquerade thing to school. It was a big issue. Osun was always in the news. We had a lot of issues with the civil servants. I can tell you that since the creation of Osun, this is the first time that you have a governor and the workers will not go on a strike for a single day since creation of Osun. So that tells you a lot of things have changed. And I want to also say this. I foresee that we are going to have more than 40% voters that will come and vote. And I'll give you one of the reasons.
Okay.
Osun in the last continuous voters register, Osun had the highest in the country, even more than Kano and Lagos. That is to tell you that the people are very, very sensitized and they want to vote. You would ask that why is the registration in Osun higher than, say, like Rivers, Lagos, and Kano? In terms of percentage, this is because people really want to vote. So I foresee Osun doing more than 40% of the registered voters. Because if you see the rate at which we have registered in Osun, you'll be shocked. And the collection of PVC has been very, very impressive.
Okay.
And if you look at something happened a few days ago that a core member was caught with PVC in connivance with a PDP chieftain. Now, in the town that I come from, Malaysia, they attacked us. They went to destroy the PVC collection. They are colliding with some agents of INEC to store cards simply because they are afraid of us, simply because they know the people want us, and Oyetola has done incredibly well. And we must commend the leadership of INEC in the state. They've done incredibly well. We must also commend the security operatives. They've done well. Despite the fact that the PDP talks started harassing, attacking our people, they did very well. So I can tell you that I'm not grandstanding. We are doing a lot to ensure that we beat PDP silly. I'm happy. Ebonjami said he had done opinion poll and they said, yeah, we're going to win between 80 and 100,000. But I can say with the rate at which you work, and with what we see our people saying and the reaction, we're going to beat PDP silly.
Okay. Quite frankly, I'd be very surprised if you didn't say it precisely the way you're saying.
I share
the enthusiasm.
Yeah, I share his enthusiasm. Of course, I would have said that if I were to be in his shoes. But one thing is clear. There's no doubt about the fact that APC would have a clear win. I mean, this election is not going to go to a runoff, unlike in 2018, because of some of these factors.
This is where I wish I had one of the 16 other parties, one of the 14 other parties in this election, to sort of hear it from them. But, still, he brought up issues of security, of the integrity of the process, and some people working against that. He also commended INEC, maybe even implied commendation for the security aspects as well. How much of a concern do you think this is?
Yeah, two things now, the issue of security and that of INEC. Recall that during the Ekiti election, which happened just like about 2 weeks ago, I said I scored INEC about 85%. And INEC has also improved even more than that, going towards the Osun election. And on election day, there are 3,758 polling units in Osun. INEC is deploying about 5,000 BVAS machines. That's the bifocal verification and the bimodal that captures both your fingerprint and your facial outlook. So INEC has taken care of that, and the report given by the INEC chairman who arrived at Osun yesterday is that those BVAS machines are being charged as we speak, so that the moment they are fully charged, they can run 12 hours. So the issue of power failure is not going to be what we are talking about. So for INEC, I think they have done their homework. They are improving by the day. And now for the issue of security. So the kind of deployment I saw in Ekiti, which I believe will be replicated in Osun, I doubt if there will be. I mean, if there are pockets of skirmishes, I mean, maybe in a few areas, maybe less than 3 or 5% of the 30 local governments that we have in Osun and the 332 wards. So I don't see much of security issues during the on election day. I mean, unlike we had in the past. So I keep referring to Ekiti because Ekiti just concluded its own, and the working relationship between the security agencies and INEC was so seamless, perfect. Each polling unit, you had at least 4 policemen with DSS and the civil defense, even the immigration and the military at the background. And also with the DSS patrolling most of the wards. I see the same thing repeating itself in Osun. You see, it is it's not a general election. It's an election like a once-off, like the kind of off-cycle election, so to say. So if military, I mean, the security apparatus will be fully deployed. So those who want to cause mayhem will be easily apprehended. And I can tell you that from Wednesday next week in Osun, the military will increase the number of roadblocks they mount, even the DSS and the police. So for you to move from between a 10-kilometer radius, I mean, you meet about 6 or 7 checkpoints, and you want to mess up with those guys when you see them. So, in terms of security, I want to believe that we're going to have a very free and fair elections that is well secured in Osun, just like we had in Ekiti. So. That's the advantage you have for these off-cycle elections. The police and the military will be deploying close to 20 or 25,000 men,
which would have been difficult had it been a general election.
I mean, which would stretch them.
Remi, coming back to you, Majid was quite, generous with his praise for INEC, and perhaps with good reason, coming from the Ekiti election. INEC was prepared, so well prepared that even when there were issues with, I think it was the BVAS equipment in one area, they suddenly found themselves with the single one that had been allocated being grossly inadequate. As soon as that was reported, they were able to augment it and break up the lines and break up the queues so that they were much more manageable. So following from that, everybody's learning as we go along, and I imagine INEC is keeping a very keen eye on things as well. So one expects that it's even going to be more polished when it comes to the situation, the election in Osun, with that kind of a thing, should it rear its head. Are you as confident as well?
Well, I have the information that the national chairman of INEC is even in Osun. Just as Ademola Adeleke said, they did very well in Ekiti, and we expect same with INEC for Osun election. We have absolute confidence in INEC, so we expect the best from them. So I can say we are hoping that they will give us far more than what they gave us in terms of support, in terms of performance. I'm sure we're looking forward to them performing even better than Ekiti. But even if you look at the performance in Ekiti, the election went seamless, and that's one of the advantage of a staggered election. I mean, the election is going to be in Osun alone that day, so we are going to have a lot of security operatives, and we have assured our people over and over again that just as Ekiti election was peaceful, Osun election is also going to be peaceful. I mean, we had a number of attacks on our members, and we had written petitions to appropriate quarters. So we also hope the security operative would also secure Osun the way they secured Ekiti in the Ekiti election. So we are very optimistic that it will go without a problem. And don't also forget that Osun is known as the most peaceful state in Nigeria. So that would also reflect in the election. The Omoluabi ethos would also reflect in our election.
Okay, Honorable Omowaye, 1 second, please. We've got to take a break now. Stay with us. We'll be right back, and we'll include your calls when we get back. Okay, welcome back. And my guests, Honorable Remi Omowaye, Commissioner for Works and Transport in Osun State. Why did I bring my state into it? In Osun State. He's with us remotely, and Majid Jamil, Executive Editor, Upshot Media, in studio here. We're looking at, preparations, what it's looking like, where the lie of the ground for the Osun State Governorship election. It's coming up on the 16th of July. 15 political parties will be in there, and about 30 local governments. Majid, in terms of activity, we just saw some pictures there in that report that we played, that went out earlier. You could see the people that came out for APC events, campaigning. I don't know, is it me? Is it because I'm not there? The other parties don't seem to be as campaigning as vigorously, in spite of the fact that Oyetola is, in government. His party, they're really working at it. Is that a misconception?
I think there's a pattern in the Southwest for the PDP. They call that, I keep referring to Ekiti. In Ekiti, the PDP never campaigned at all.
Hold your thought, please. Let me take Ernest, who has called in from Enugu, and then we'll resume with this analysis you were making. Good morning, Ernest.
Yes, good morning, Uncle Yori. How are you?
Good morning, sir. Thank you very much for calling in.
Yeah, and good morning to Mr. Mojid.
Yes.
Good morning.
Yeah, I heard Mr. Mojid saying of military and police will, mount roadblocks in Osun State coming up election. What has those things done to improve our elections? How many people do they arrested in Ekiti State? And even the few ones they told us that they arrested were sharing money. Where has how far has the action taken? You understand? Please, what I want to advise is let's these politicians stop deceiving Nigeria. PDP, APC, that does the same thing. How come our politicians have become liars? They don't tell us the truth. They deceive Nigerians a lot. Our lives are not improving. There's no electricity anywhere. There's no water anywhere. There's no good road. We can't continue like this, Uncle Yori. I'm not a politician, but I'm just watching. You understand? Nigeria is going down the drain, whether we believe it or not. This is not how to run a country if we are planning to be a successful country. And again, please, I just want to advise your studio.
Well,
please,
it's just Ernest.
Other political parties,
Ernest.
only not only APC and the PDP, please. Thank you.
Ernest.
Yes, Mr.
Okay.
Yes,
But thank you very much for calling in, Ernest. I couldn't reach you once you had started speaking. When you say Nigeria is going down the drain, maybe I'm thinking you meant Nigeria can do a lot better. That's a whole world different from going down the drain. But it's a free talk shop, so I understand. But I just have the sneaky feeling that what you really meant was that we can do a lot better than we are doing. Yeah, because the potential is there. But thank you very much, Ernest. We don't like Nigeria being bad-mouthed, especially when it is done without evidence, if you get my meaning. However, continuing with the program, yes, I interrupted Majid for that call.
Yeah.
You were explaining, it seems that we're not seeing too much of campaign from other parties.
Yeah. You would think it's, like I said, I spent about a week in Osun, where I even witnessed the inauguration of some projects facilitated by the Office of the Sustainable Development Goals, SDG, Abuja, in Osun. Honorable Remi Omowaye spoke about Dagbolu. One of those projects, a skill acquisition and development center, was inaugurated in Dagbolu, very near, between Oshogbo and Ikirun Road, almost opposite the steel rolling mill, for those who are familiar with that axis. And in that place, they can train more than 200 women on fashion designing, then 100 people on computer training, and also welding, wheel balancing, about 10 vocations in that skill. About 1,000 people could be trained simultaneously at that center. The same is also replicated in Iragbiji, Governor's Town, with a mother and child hospital, all completed within a space of 1 year. That's just by the way. Like I said, I only see posters of APC and to some extent that of PDP, and now Labour Party, and I'll come to that.
Okay, but in the meantime, Bernard has come on the line from Enugu. We're popular with Enugu this morning. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Uncle Yeri. Good morning, sir.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Majid in the studio.
Thank you. Please go ahead.
I think my contribution goes like this. I think INEC should find a way to reduce, if not eliminate, vote buying. Let's make a way that those party agents don't come close to see how fast the ballot paper a voter is casting. Because if they do that, I think the rate of vote buying, I think the thing is having a negative effect on our election. That's not as Osun election is concerned. Imagine Ademola Adeleke as APC presidential candidate. It's an icing on the cake. So I think PDP should concentrate on other states, Osun is taking. So I'm not an APC member, I'm not a PDP member, I'm just saying the reality. Osun is taking because of Ashwaju is a force in Osun State. I think they should concentrate. Southwest is taking. Osun is gone. So PDP should go ahead and find out that they are concentrated. That's my contribution. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Remi, I'm sure that sharp analysis there, I don't think you would have had very much against it. He said Southwest is taken.
The thing is, our people appreciate good governance. Irrespective of party affiliation, they appreciate good governance. Oyetola is going to win clearly, not because he's the flag bearer of APC, but because as a governor, he has done credibly well. Now, Uncle Majid talked about the Dagbolu, and he mentioned about a particular center that can train 1,000 people. That is just a subset of what we have in Dagbolu. We have a collaboration with the Chippers Council. There's a real line around that corridor. And what we are achieving ultimately is to make the place dry port. We don't have any automats, serious, massive automats in the country. So we are going to likely have the first automats in that corridor. So we've done a lot in the last 3 years. The governor has done credibly well. Roads that have been abandoned for ages, 20, 30 years. I can count a lot of this road that we have done, we have completed. The Olaya interchange flyover was done under a year. It is unprecedented. In all this, we have paid back over 70 billion naira debt, and we have not borrowed a kobo. I also want to tell you, Governor Oyetola is the only governor in Nigeria today that paid workers' salary with minus allocation without borrowing a kobo. Let me come again. He's the only governor in Nigeria that has been able to pay workers full salary with minus allocation from FAC without borrowing a kobo.
Okay.
The people want governor to continue as governor.
Okay.
I just told you.
I beg your pardon. 1 second, please, because Mr. Ade in London has called in. Good morning, Mr. Ade.
Good morning, Dr. Yori, and good morning to the Commissioner, Honorable Commissioner, and my brother, distinguished Senator with you.
Majid Jamil.
I'm not a senator. I'm not a senator. I'm a journalist.
Senator in next coming parliament. That's why I address him that way. I want to congratulate our governor in Osun State in advance for his victory for the election, because I can see him winning over 300,000 votes. So it's a good governor. I'm from Ondo, but I love the man. So it's a good governor. I've not been to Osogbo for maybe 15 years. Well, if I come to Nigeria soon, I want to visit Osogbo. The man will win. He has won already. And Dr. Yori, the way I'm looking at you, Oba Yeo, Oba Yeo.
Mr. Ade, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Really appreciate your calling in. I mean,
I'm an incoming senator, and you are excellent. I mean,
only God knows.
Royal Majesty.
Only God knows what is. But a lot of people seem to think, and I see that is making Honorable Omowaye quite happy. A lot of people are saying that it's a done deal, but I don't think the real strategists in APC will be taking anything for granted.
Yes, I was going to that before. You see, I said I was in Osun, and I saw a lot of, activity in the APC. Probably because, it's the ruling party. Fine, but for a PDP who wants to give a fight to an incumbent, that's not the way to go with their campaign. The flag off they had, I was in Osun when they had the flag off. Only 2 out of their 12 governors came. That's even far, far better than what happened in Ekiti. No flag off, no mega rally, no presentation of flags to their candidate in Ekiti State. And they came third. But now they are not campaigning in Osun. And I'm saying that they've only had 1 flag off. And I think the EFCC and the INEC should question the candidate of the PDP for boasting that is going to spend, whether it's naira for naira, dollar for dollar, on election day. And I think that is very preposterous for you to want to rely on money on election day. So the PDP candidate has been quoted as saying that severally. So probably They rely on spending money on election day. That's why they are not campaigning. But then, like I said earlier, Davido will be going to Osun for a mega rally. I think sometime later this week or probably early next week before Thursday.
Okay.
But then, whether that will translate to votes or not
remains to be seen.
Will remain to be seen.
Tishoba in Wari, did I get that name right? Tishoba in Wari. Hello? Wari? Is that Tishoba?
Uncle Yori, yes, Sheboba.
Okay.
Sheboba.
Sheboba. Oh, okay. Good morning. Thank you very much.
Good morning,
Go ahead,
Uncle
please.
Yori. I just linked to
Good
you.
morning, sir.
Morning, sir, Uncle Yori. I'm a regular listener of this big morning. Sometimes I hang up with journalist Sangad. I think the man on your studio there is the journalist Sangad, regular with BKO. What I want to say.
Yes.
What I want to say, sir, regardless of party affinity, this governor has tried. I'm from Delta State. I'm a Wari person. I'm in Shekiri. If the commissioner is saying zero allocation or they don't want allocation of fact, they could pay salary. What is good is good. Leave PDP and APC. This man has worked. Forget party affinity. This man has worked. If you don't want to elect him, elect him back. It's not party. I don't believe in party ideology. Forget it. A man that want to work. Oyetola has worked. And they said, when Music Street, you play twice. So they should allow the man and let him go. But there's no debate on that. Thank you. That is my own.
Okay. Thank you very much, Shebaba. Thank you very much. Well, a lot of people, we would like for other people to call in as well. Other parties who are, because there are 15 parties, 15 political parties. APC, the incumbent, is just incumbent party.
I think I also need to draw listeners' attention to the fact that the Labour Party that people are talking about at the national is also contesting in Osun. They have a candidate, I think it's Lasun Yusuf, is the candidate of the Labour Party in Osun. So I think the obedient servants, the obedient Nigerians should lend their support to this candidate, and let us see how the Labour Party can actually challenge the status quo, the likes. So we don't want to be talking about, like Ernest said, we don't want to be talking about APC and PDP. We also want to talk about Labour, the new, the emerging third force.
Yes.
Even
Accord is in there.
Yes, Accord is there. Even NNPP is also there. So, but I've not seen much of a campaign from the Labour Party candidates.
Okay, Mr. Abdul Karim in Niger State.
Yeah. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling. Go right ahead, please.
Yeah, Uncle Yori, I greet my honorable Remi and the guest in the studio.
Yes.
Dr.
Majid Jamil.
Right? Okay. Let me
Thank
just
you.
go to the point. Regarding Osun State election, let me say we really have two parties contesting, APC and others. PDP, Labour Party, the rest, they are among the others. While APC is the major political party that is well recognized by the 75% of the good people of Osun State. Sir, Governor Oyetola is working and is ready to continue working. And as such, he should be allowed to continue working. I'm a native of Odiomu, Ayedade local government precisely. When the local government was actually dominated by PDP, we have nothing to account for as an achievement. But as we speak today, under APC government, we've had a lot of things to point at as an achievement, including the major road within our local government. What would we achieve under PDP? Nothing. And aside that, APC, forget about what the party is passing through or the up and down at the national level. So Governor Oyetola is the man for the job. He has been doing it. He's tested and trusted. Forget about what APC is in other states or what PDP is in other states. This is our state, our home. And Governor Oyetola is the man we want. And by the special grace of God, he will win with absolute vote come
July 16 by the special grace of Almighty Allah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for calling in. In addition, people are saying that Governor Oyetola, he's the man. He's really been very hardworking. He's also, quite experienced in Osun. As you all recall, he was the chief of staff to the former governor.
Yeah, for 8 years.
For 8 years. So he knows the ins and outs of government. It's probably why he was able to hit the ground running, so to speak. And here he is, the work of his hands, so to speak. People are testifying to it. But it still is a matter of the PVCs. How many PVCs are out there? Majid was analyzing at the top of the program, 1,950, 1.9 million registered voters, but the actual PVC card holders will be, Majid?
About 1.4 million.
About 1.4 million there.
No, we can't get more than 1.4 million voters on election day, which means about 500,000 have already disenfranchised themselves because they have failed to collect their PVCs. Although PVC collection is still ongoing, or maybe we might have another probably 10, 20,000 between now and election day. So, but in terms of...
And then, in addition to that, the people that have the PVC, this voting apathy, not everybody comes out.
I'm even being generous. The Honorable Commissioner is saying that he expects more than 40%, fine, but the election, I mean, if we look at the trend in Nigeria, I speak with figures and I speak with trends, and these trends have been a pattern.
Okay.
I'm even being generous by saying 40% in Osun.
It might not be as high as that.
In Ondo, it was just 25%. In Anambra, it was less than 33%. In Ekiti, it was 36%. So you see that range. So I'm being generous with 40% in Osun.
Mazi Okorafor, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Oga Karim. Good morning, my brother on Skype. You see, Nigerians have spoken. But my own concern is this. I'll tell the governor and the APC not to go and sleep. You have to work hard. Because if you go to the market, there are so many things you see there, you buy, but by the time you reach the house, you now know exactly whether you bought a good thing or bad thing. So that is to say, the governor and the APC should do what? Do their homework. And they should try as much as possible and block this issue of vote buying. And the apathy is not healthy. Because if you look at what happened in Ekiti State last time, look at the number of people that they told us, 900-something thousand are supposed to vote, just 900,000. But not up to, just roughly less than 700 voted, which is not healthy. The government should try as much as possible. Now is the time, like my brother, Professor Karim, have just said there in the studio, that the opposition party, this is the time.
No, it's not Karim, Majid Jamil.
And I'm not a professor.
Professor, look, when somebody talk, you know that he's talking with professional authority, not like just a primary six holder. So that's why I say professor. Now.
All right then. Well, thank you very much, Mazi. Thank you very much, Mazi, for calling in. Honorable Omowaye, the vexed question of money and elections, as we all know, it's not supposed to be. There were allegations that that is a device that was deployed in Ekiti. Is there a zero tolerance for that kind of a thing in Osun going into the election?
Okay. Before I answer your question, the last caller before Mazi Okora, they said it was from Osun, I think it stays in the north, from Odiomu. I think I also need to say this. In the local government it comes from, we have done a 3.8 kilometer township road of Gbogan. We inherited the dualization of Gbogan Akuda from the last administration, last administration. Governor Oyetola had completed the road from Gbogan to Odiomu, where the man comes from. We have done about 10 primary care centers in that local government, and we are doing a lot. So when people are saying Oyetola is performing, we want him back, there are empirical reasons. Now coming to the question you have asked, we cannot completely eradicate that. But we are, because there was a time the PDP governorship candidate came out and said he has pounds and dollars to spend. We don't have that, but we have good governance to sell to the people. And let me tell you what we are doing. Just as Jamil said, Mojid said, PDP are not campaigning. They are relying on two things, money and violence. And to also prove to you that that is what they are relying on. Their candidate came and said, I have dollars.
Honorable Omowaye, that's a difficult one there because you can't say that without evidence, without surefire evidence.
His Royal Majesty Yori, there are video evidence. It's not, I'm just not saying this. There is also two video that is trending on the social media now. Their House of Rep candidate for Ijesha South said he used to carry gun for election, but this time around he's going to use bomb. He's going to use explosive. The video is on the social media. His name is Oyomirin. Their senatorial candidate for Osun West, Larry Ewumi, said you should use stone and stick for anybody that wants to disturb you. They are preaching violence. We are calling on security operative to come to our aid. I want to tell you, they also do not have a candidate to sell. I mean, that's why they are relying on violence and money. But I know the people of Osun knows the truth. They will stand by the truth. And I know the security operative will be up and doing that stage. So the issue of vote buying might not be eradicated completely, but it will be drastically reduced.
Okay.
And because the average man in Osun will not leave a working model for a model you are not sure of. I said something earlier. I said Osun is the most peaceful state. A lot of things had gone into making Osun the most peaceful state. Apart from supporting the conventional security, we are one of the very few states that signed Amotekun. And apart from the Amotekun, in Nigeria today, there's no state that is interfacing as much as we are interfacing with the hunters.
All right.
As I speak,
Honorable, our time is up. I'm sorry to interrupt you a bit, but our time is up. Nevertheless, we're grateful that you could find the time, Honorable Remi Omowaye, Commissioner for Works and Transport in Osun State, to tell us the view from the APC perspective in Osun. Thank you very much, sir. And also to Majid Jamia, as always, our Executive Editor, Upshot Media. We always appreciate your analysis based on facts and figures and statistical projections. Thank you very much. Okay, so that's our program. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.